Welcome back to the Donovan and Jorgensen Heating and Cooling Friday Night Rivals pregame show. Getting close to kickoff as Sussex Hamilton takes on Milwaukee Marquette in a Greater Metro Conference matchup. Before we send you over to Terry Kelly and John Weiser, we want to introduce you to this week's Current Electric behind-the-scenes superhero of the game. It's our chance to say thank you to people that put a ton of time into high school and youth athletics. This week's Current Electric behind-the-scenes superhero of the week is Ginny Klestinski. She is a true coach's wife. Her and Keith have been married for 38 years, and since this is Keith's last year coaching, we thought maybe we should bring on a true behind-the-scenes superhero of the week. Jenny, it's good to see you. How you been?
It's good to see you. Thank you for having me. I don't know that I would. I think there are probably other people who deserve the title superhero a little bit more than I do. But I will say, being a coach's wife is definitely an interesting club to be in.
and not only that, but Keith's dad was a really well-respected, a lot of people just considered him one of the better high school football coaches ever in the state of Wisconsin. And so yes. You knew what you were getting into when you married this man.
I did know. I think the priest at our wedding even mentioned a little something about football. But I don't know. Do you ever really know what you're getting into exactly?
Probably not. I coached basketball for 38 years, and when I retired from coaching that first year, my wife said, I thought you'd be home a little bit more. And I said, I'm still kind of doing some stuff. I'm going to some practices and
right. It'll be interesting to see how it all works out. But I think he definitely made this decision. I think he's ready.
He talks about these grandkids and spending a little bit more time. And we may say he's retired from coaching, but there might be a couple little things coming up in the future for him to help out with some of the grandkids. Jenny, when last year was a magical year and it's almost a book, right? I know that lost Keith's dad, and you go on and win a state championship when it kind of came out of nowhere for guys like me, and they really played well down the stretch. And now this year, it's kind of the goodbye tour, right? The last time you're going to play against Sussex Hamilton with Keith being the head coach at Marquette. When you think back over the years, and again, this is the reason you're the behind-the-scenes superhero of the week. I know when he comes home after a game, there are times that, he's not going to bed right away. He's trying to figure out what went well or what went wrong. And as a coach's wife, I say this a lot on my radio show, there's a special place in heaven for coaches' wives. When you look back at all of the years that you've been going to high school football games, I've got to believe you look upon it very fondly.
Oh, yes, of course. I mean, it's something he's very passionate about. I mean, he really is an excellent coach. And obviously, winning last year was incredible. But I think even beyond that, he's very interested in, helping the young men become better human beings beyond just all the football things, but football is a good vehicle for sort of teaching some of those things as well. So I know he takes a lot of pride in that too, but he works very hard.
Yeah, he does. Last year was really special, I think, for him, and talking to him, he felt like his dad was right next to him the whole time.
I mean, that would have been clearly the icing on the cake had he been able to physically be there, but we know he was there, and it was pretty amazing situation. I mean, it's everything has to go right for no matter what the sport you're talking about to win something like that. So
100%.
It really was fun.
I agree. I really appreciate you coming on. And look, in my eyes, and a lot of people watching this eyes, you are the true behind-the-scenes superhero of the week. Jenny, thank you so much for your time. On the other side of the break, we're going to turn it over to John Weiser and Terry Kelly as the Chargers from Sussex Hamilton travel to take on the Hilltoppers from Milwaukee Marquette. This has been the Donovan and Jorgensen Heating and Cooling Friday Night Rivals pregame show only on My 24.